Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the BIMvoice podcast or videocast. Today, I have the pleasure to meet Gjermund Dahl, who is a BIM strategist working on infrastructure project at Norconsult, a very big consulting company in Norway. And he is going to present us an Excellence Awarded project. Welcome, Gjermund. And
thank you. Glad to be here.
It's so nice to have you here. I'm really looking forward to learn more about your project and what were the challenges and how you fix those.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad to, and thank you for the invitation, and happy to share everything about the project and what you're
Very nice.
asking about.
Cool. Now I will ask you to share your screen and tell us some few words about yourself. And please go ahead with what you want to show us today.
Hopefully see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Perfect. A little bit about myself first. As you introduced me, I've been working now with BIM for over 10 years, so it's been an incredible journey. I've been mainly working with large infrastructure projects, so that's my expertise, and that's what I'm going to present to you today. I also sit in the Consultancy Engineering Association, RIF, it's called in Norway, so as a BIM expert there. And my role in Norconsult is divided into two. So it's half time doing actual live projects like the project today, and also internally with development in Norconsult. And I really like the idea of a lean approach. So that's my groundbreaking, or that's what I really want to dive more into, learning how to use BIM in a lean way. And as is mentioned here, I also do a studying now for the ISO 19650, which I think is a standard that everybody in our branch or call it the BIM community needs to dive into in the future.
Are you studying, like, in what sense you are studying? You are just reading yourself and try to understand it?
I'm actually doing a course at the Norwegian University, NTNU. So they do have 7.5 study points, studiepoeng, within this standard. So it's working together with in a group with a client and a contractor from the E39 project.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. It's really nice. And do you pay anything for this course, or it's free?
There is a study fee, but I think it's, how much is it? Maybe 50 euros or something. Yeah.
Okay, so little.
Yeah. So it's the first class they are doing now, but they're hoping and I'm sure they will do more in the future. And I think the next one is already scheduled for this autumn, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. And that's interesting. We derail a little bit, but this is a very important topic for our industry anyway. So I'll take the liberty to do that. And why I'm saying this, okay, do you need to go to Trondheim for this course, or you can have it online?
This is a class that are from the NTNU University in Gjøvik. So it's the middle of Norway. And there was one live meeting in the start on this autumn 2020. But I think it's an online course, of course, now in COVID days.
Yeah, I understand. Just to go a little bit more about this, why I'm also very interested about ISO 9650, and I recently started doing every day 1 hour live streaming, and this is the topic actually. And the other tools around ISO 9650, like for example, I'm trying to focus on Planoly. How can you use Planoly to implement ISO 9650 in a very friendly way in your company? So I'm trying to combine this, but I'm trying to understand ISO 9650, and not only that, I'm going through the standards from Statsbygg, Bane NOR, and Statsvegvesen and Nye Veier, and it's really interesting. And before yesterday, I used to do this live streaming from 5 to 6 p.m., which was quite difficult for people to join. But yesterday, I decided to do it from 2 to 3. So I will start working earlier the day. I will start working at 6 and finish my work at 2. So I have this hour. And yesterday I had a guest, Håkon Reisvang. He joined me and we discussed, and it was very, very nice. It's a very nice way, and I really hope that in the future I'll get more people joining and to discuss and to understand it better and see how can we practically implement it in our workflows, in our organizations, on our contracts, and now enough about this. So please go ahead with your presentation.
I will do. And just to finish off the ISO standard, this project I'm presenting now is being included in a report about ISO 19 and how we could find elements within the project that are according to the standard and how we could further develop and see the potential within the standard. So
awesome.
Happy to share that it's delivery date 15th of February actually.
Delivery date for the documentation, for the design?
The documentation or the report within the NTNU study,
Okay, interesting.
Let's look at today's project. So I'm going to talk about the E39 project. It's a project that I've been working on for 2.5 years now. And the presentation is from my point of view as a consultant or a designer. But of course, it's a project together with a contractor, the AF group, AF-gruppen. And that's a really important part of it. And the collaboration between us and with the client, the roads administration, has been really valuable. And I hope I'll present a point of view from a consultant, but also with the perspective of the contractor as well.
Yeah, that's important. Like, we are part of the team, right? And that should be the norm. But even the fact that we are talking about this, it's a sign that we need to work more regarding this aspect.
Really. So the agenda I'm going to talk about is a little bit about the project, of course, a little about the execution, maybe related to the demands and to the VDC, a little bit more about the BIM part of it, and try to sum up a little bit about lesson learned at the end. But first, the project is located in the south of Norway, so it's down by Kristiansand. It's between Kristiansand West and Mandal Øst. So here is the project. So it's total of 19 kilometers of 4-lane highway being built. It's 5 tunnels, 8 bridges, and I think it's 47 constructions in total that are going to be built. And in 2022. So just starting off, I'm going to show you a video just to give you a picture of what everything we've been doing, and also from the design and the construction part of it.
Sure.
So let's start that off. Hopefully you get some music. I can do some music as well. yet.
Very nice. Very nice landscape, very nice structures. Really, really cool.
Yeah, so the project has a lot of interesting not moments, but perspectives. So we can't cover everything today, but I'll try to dive into some more details, of course.
Sure.
The project has really has a lot of new BIM demands or digital demands. So we early on saw that the ambition level for digital delivery was high. And one aspect is that this is a design and build contract together with the contractor, but it's being designed and built at the same time. So we need to simultaneously develop models, deliver them to the site at the same time as the construction site already has started up. So we need to make a system or implement BIM simultaneously as we started up. And all the demands were that we need to deliver a model-based project. So there should be no drawings, and the model is the base for everything. And as you see on the bottom here, the different dimensions in BIM, it's probably familiar to most of you with 4D and 5D and so on, but we really needed to define different dimensions in BIM for us. So it's included sustainability for us, as well as operations and maintenance should be included in BIM, and also what we defined as XD, a little bit what we didn't have a dimension for health and safety registrations, but we included that in a XD dimension, and that was like the baseline for us. We need to implement XD within our models or project.
Yeah. But before you go further, let's talk a little bit about the client. Who is the client in this case, and what do they want?
The client is the new road administration. So it's called Nye Veier or New Roads, directly translated. And they really go out to the market and set some new ambitious goals for us, for the consultants and of course the contractor in this case. And if you look at some of the different demands, it should accommodate BIM level 3. So a single unique common source of truth should be implemented. It should be seamless communication between the different data sources or databases. We need to establish a web-based viewer that really it wasn't on the market when we set out to start this project in 2018. So that we needed to develop and also connect project information with the BIM. So make some kind of connection between the BIM elements and also the other project documentation, if you like.
Yeah. Are you going to show more details regarding these aspects in the future, during the presentation, or?
I'm going to show you about the web-based viewer and a little bit about talk about the information structure, but
Okay.
that would be I don't know, a 2-hour presentation as well, I think. I'll give you some highlights.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and demands for VDC and VR and AR in the project. And as I sum up on the bottom here, BIM shall do a lot more than before. So like including LOD or mod maturity, link to quality and operation data documentation. Yeah, it's really ambitious. Nothing else that we have seen before or try to accommodate in at least one project before.
Yeah, sounds very, very exciting.
Yeah, and just to like try to set a perspective up to VDC, you see here the strategic goals of the project. So it's reduce CO2, deliver on time, and encourage to innovation and digitalization. And the project goals that we have set out is to reduce CO2, of course, reduce the period for construction, and also regarding BIM, we have until now reduced the normal amount of drawings by 95% compared to traditional project.
Do you are you including here all the disciplines, or are you talking only about the structural work?
The structure work is 100% drawingless.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all the 447 is 100%. So the other 5% is actually the other kind of drawings made for for the other disciplines, as you say.
Yeah, like electrical, it's quite difficult to. It's easier to show to keep it simpler with some lines, or maybe some geotechnical. I don't know, but there are other disciplines that are not so easily actually. That's why I was curious. So for structural, actually, everything is like it makes sense to if you want to understand it better, build it virtually. Otherwise, it's going to be more difficult to build it in reality if you cannot build it virtually, right?
Yeah. So the constructions on the last project were one structure, and it's 47 structures. So like they needed to step up their game and deliver on all those 47, and all of the other disciplines needed to like follow their lead or accommodate the same development.
Mm-hmm.
So like I got some slides from the VDC chief advisors in AF group, who's having the mentor or having the VDC course now at NTNU. So we just shared some highlights. So putting the different demands within the VDC framework. So and also here is like same thing I really mentioned, but you can see that the project objectives are put into the into VDC, and for now the metrics are of course reducing drawings and delivering model on time, CO2 emissions, and automate design updates.
Yeah,
a lot of details that we in this project as well. So that was a little bit about the project in general, and let's dive into more about the execution of it. So what we really found as an important baseline was to divide the project or break it down into different work packages. So dividing it in for sub areas and also for the different disciplines. So this packages is the baseline for doing the progress plan or the 4D plan, and also sitting down with the contractor, being able to define the different deliverables from the design team. So to accommodate the simultaneously design build, we needed to get deliverables to the site at the same time as we did the design. And by doing that, we made it possible to make deliverables per package with the selected disciplines involved, and also delivering on different LODs or model maturities according to the progress on the site.
Yeah. Can we name these deliveries or this plan you put together? Like, did you have a BIM execution plan for the master project for all the structures, and after that some sub plans for each structure, or did you use this? Did you have a BIM execution plan in the first place?
Yeah. Actually, the one demand was to deliver a BIM implementation strategy. So the execution plan was a part of that strategy. So several documents describing in really the high level according to the demands, and breaking it that well as down into how to import those kind of properties within that model. Yeah. So there was a BIM implementation strategy, and also the overall breakdown structure of the project. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did make some workflows, and I can't go into details about this, but we needed to see how we could accommodate this simultaneously design build. So we need to plan the ICE sessions, and this is a sketch me and Inge in the AF group made actually just in MS Paint, but it's really just the trick. So what you see in orange here is the different kind of specific ICE solutions that we had. The yellow one presents the different kinds. So last planner ICE sessions that we did, LPS, and the green ones is the different kind of inputs. So on the top right is the BEP, so the BIM execution plan, and with the LOD spec and the design basis, it was the starting point for delivering different models on different LODs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, yeah, it's a big stack of meetings that we needed to make the collaboration work with the client and the contractor. So yeah, I just included an example of ICE session, right, to set a goal, set a purpose, and set the results of the ICE. So
yeah, if I may ask something regarding the level of the project or how big the project was, if I remember correctly, like there have been projects like this, but they have been splitted in similar parcels. Wasn't the case in this project? Why Nearwire specifically required that this project will be handled in one as a whole?
Yeah, this part of the project is divided into parcels. So the contract with the Nearwire is they have like their project breakdown structure, and we need to deliver according to that one. But we needed also to break that down into our own project structure as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a really key element of the project actually to break it down to the smallest unique parts and also down to the discipline level of the different model maturities.
And I understand. So this is an example for IC, right? Which stands for interconcurrent or interconcurrent engineering or integrated concurrent engineering.
Concurrent engineering.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I always spell this wrong. Yeah. So the goal: review of the status of all disciplines. Okay, and close all the open case issues and produce QA documents.
So we did, as I'm going to present on the next slide here, is issue tracking. So maybe Jira, somebody uses BIM Collab, and BIM Collab is what we used for our issue tracking in E39. So
yes.
Follow up on different status, milestones, different work packages or areas, and keeping track of everything in a big project that's being stacked and delivered within a lean approach. It's a must-have.
Would you say that this is a more effective way than just sticking to emails?
Absolutely, and the email is hard to provide any documentation for the future, right? So if we need to documentate what we have done, what we have solved, how the development of an issue, you can't do that with emails. It's not effective.
So you would say that you saved some time using this tool?
Absolutely, and also having the possibility to include the contractor here and the subcontractor as well.
Okay, thank you.
And this, as we are in ICE sessions, we did also have the possibility with the models to do some validations within VR. So here's just a video from the AF group that they've done some evaluation of buildability within construction. So just enabling this kind of possibilities, just having the actual BIM model with the information, right?
Yeah. What kind of tool did they use here?
What is called?
Vixel? No, not Vixel.
It's not Vixel.
Dimension T? Dimension 10?
Dimension 10, yeah.
Okay.
So Rune Huse Karlstad, which was in the AF group, is now at Dimension 10. So it will probably give you a lot of information about about the solution and also how they used it in the AI sessions together with the subcontractor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's dive more into the BIM part of it. And you asked a little bit earlier on about the information structure, right? So we needed to make our own structure to be able to do a lot of things. One is to use the models for building on the site. So including the right information, it was a demand, and also as on the bottom line here, connect models and documentation on the go. So we defined, as it says here, some general properties which are included on every model within a whole project, and also unique discipline properties that are more used for actual building it. Yeah. And the structured information was then put into an open format. So I wouldn't say normally, but even now, DVG files are the main deliverable in general for infrastructure in Norway. But of course, IFC has the possibility, even though it has not been standardized enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as it was a demand for us with open formats, we saw that we needed to use the IFC format, but then we needed to apply our own structure to it to make it do what we needed to set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned also the viewer. So we needed to produce or make our own viewer to meet the demands. And AF Group, they hired Norconsult Information Systems. So it's a subsidiary of Norconsult that is an IT company. And we set out to build a solution based on Autodesk Forge. So it's the Forge that is running in the background, and that's the BIM viewer part of this as well. So here you see some clips from the model, so you can see the actual geometry, and you can also see the different types of documentation, or call it the XDs. So health and safety registrations are shown here with different kind of blue markers, documentation. So all the yellow markers are documents linked to the model, and also different kinds of reports were generated and put into the model and linked it together.
Mm-hmm. So this entire project was inside this interface built with Forge.
Yeah, the call it the hub of information is still SharePoint as the case. So all the information is put on SharePoint as called the baseline for the common data environment, the CDE. And this viewer is then aggregating or extracting the models, the documentations, and viewing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. And just an example of the different kinds of properties that we need to incorporate some general properties. In this case, it's properties for geology for a tunnel in this case. So different kinds of property sets and different kinds of information linking documentation together.
Yeah.
Making it
So
also possible to click an element in the BIM model and then filter and find the different kind of documents.
mm-hmm. So and you always had the latest, most updated version. How did you connect? What was the workflow from modeling to this viewer? So you had all the time the most updated version of the model.
Yeah, it's a good question, because we needed to use a lot of different kind of design tools. We can't just use Revit or Tekla or NovaPoint, Quadri. We needed to accommodate a lot of them. So then we needed to automate a lot of exports. So exports from Revit, exports from NovaPoint, for example, the IFC file was exported with a virtual robot each night. So I don't know if you know the term, but RPA, robotic process automation.
Yes.
Yeah, we set up a robot to do the exports each night, and when there were design changes.
Uh-huh.
Those were then aggregated with scripts into Navisworks files that are then directly synced within the platform of SharePoint and further on to Forge and Easy Project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But how was the coordination made then? The coordination check was inside this platform, or did you use Solibri or another tool for that?
And the actual clash detection, which is necessary, was done with Navisworks. It has to be need to be done there
Okay.
as the best tool for this. But in general, we delivered different kinds of models on different model maturities or LODs. So each day a new model will published, and you always I'll show it later on, but
Yeah.
you saw the latest MMI or LOD available. And
Okay.
yeah. So that was like the BIM viewer part of it, and I just include an example from tunnels. So like every other discipline, we put information about operation and maintenance on the BIM model, saving a lot of time for the contractor that usually not normally collect different operation and maintenance data. We used, in this case, a tool called Gjermund, and that's the same tool as the tunnel people or contractor use for tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that there were very few conflicts or collisions in the models compared to a drawing project when all the effort was put in one place. Right?
But can you please information to OEM and NVDB? It's a database, or can you explain those what that is?
Yeah. NVDB is the Norwegian Road Authority's database for asset asset management. So they have set out called the object list of each document or object they build.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this actually. I read not a long time ago on LinkedIn, and someone posted about this, and I asked for a link if this is available, and I got the link, but I did not open it to have a look at it. I'm looking forward to it.
There is an API for this database. So different suppliers or tool development companies should dive more and more into that list, because the road authorities, Nye Veier, and the public road administration, Statens vegvesen, is also like that's the baseline for their asset management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, as the bottom point here is that the suppliers also delivered models. So the subcontractors delivered models for all elements in the tunnel and the different kind of technical buildings back to us in design. So there's a video. So it presents some general properties here and some specific properties for the tunnel, and also information for this steel structure you see here, and also included what we call the bill of quantities. So it's a description of this description of the different kind of elements, and you could do quantities and related to that one. So that was included to all the different kind of metals, this kind of structure. And this gives a lot of opportunities, right? So one thing that we saw that for example, for roads that now were delivered on IFC, it made it possible to import those kind of IFC files into bill of quantities. In this case, the program Easy Beskrivelse, and we could get the quantities from the model itself. This has been, at least for infrastructure, been done manually for a long time, or Excel reports from different kinds of softwares.
And how much quicker is it using it, having this workflow?
The workflow from the design tools to IFC, I think, or
No. To get the bill of quantity or quantities.
it's as we could include or import several IFC files. This is very effective to get this right summary and also include your own other kinds of quantities to attached to this kind of BIM elements. So it saves a lot of time, and it's more transparent, and it's the same baseline or same input for everybody. So the contract get the IFC file, we use the IFC file, and yeah.
Yeah. But I remember I did not ask you something regarding this. All the document, the plan, your plan, because you did not call it BIM execution plan, but it had other names, requirements. What you planned with the contractor, how to deliver all the deliveries, right? Did you use any specific tool to handle all this documentation, or you just how did you do it?
All the documentation and routines was made together with the contractor and was shared to the CD, the SharePoint. Yeah.
Okay.
But the way to get to the point that how do you know what kind of information should be put into the BIM models, that was a close collaboration with the contractor. So we had a lot of meetings, sitting down with them, going through model by model, and what kind of information do we need?
Yeah. Okay. No, this is a case when where I'm thinking. Did you hear about Plannerly? Did you try it? Did you have a look at it?
What do you call it?
Plannerly.
Plannerly? Probably not.
Okay, it's a platform for this and for managing BIM execution plans, organizational information plans, ERs, exchange information requirements. It's built exactly with ISO 9650 in mind. So it's while you're describing me all this, it's like the same like BIM Collab. What is BIM Collab doing for issue management? The same thing is doing actually Plannerly for plan management, if you wish. So it's really interesting. Yeah.
And if we had dive into the ISO standard 2.5 years ago, we probably have done a couple or many things differently, and specifying the different information requirements, and
Mm-hmm.
there's of course a huge potential there.
Yeah, sorry for I derailed you. If you can go back to the execution, where you were, where was that? The video you just showed me before.
Yeah.
Not in the video, but outside of the video, exactly here. What is that? A microwave or what is that?
That kind of red thing. It's it's a BIM cask, so it's on the top of the Trysvur bridge. So you can see that the subcontractor Kruse Smith has made a BIM cask with they're using Solibri based on the IFC files.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about this, because I'm sure they are not very popular outside Norway. What is this? Is just a display put in a box, or is more than that?
Simple as it is, actually just a computer put in a safe container. Yeah. Okay. So as you can't bring a big stack of drawings to the site, you need to access the information, and this has been done a lot in buildings in Norway, but it's being an important part on the construction site as well for infrastructure. So it's a normal computer that has the possibility to log on, get design updates, and also if you need to print something, a detail from the model, it should be possible.
So this was for workers and people on site to understand how they should build the project, right?
Yeah.
So for a bridge, for example, how many of these do you have?
I don't know, actually.
Is more than one?
Yeah, I would expect more than one. Yeah. with 47 constructions in total, but not every being built at the same time, but it should be several, yeah. And one part about the IC project, the viewer as well, that could be accessed through Google Chrome as no need for installations, right? So that makes it possible to view them all on your phone, your iPad, on your tablet, compared to other tools that needs to be installed, and yeah, could be a potential barrier.
But was that used on the project? Like, did the workers could you use this platform you built for the entire project in Forge? Could you use that at the same level as you are using Solibri, for example, or it was just higher level to understand, not to build the building, but the construction, but just to understand how things are?
The EC project could be used in every part of the project. It didn't have the information takeoff when we started the project, but so that's why Solibri is great, right? So you could filter out, get quantities fast from one IFC file. But of course, the IC project has been used all over the project to get the information that they normally needed on the PDFs.
Yeah, but I'm thinking also a level further. So was this the only devices that were used to understand how to build the structures, or did you have other means as well? Like, for example, StreamBIM or Dalux, these kind of tools that you can have on your phone and more people can use it. If you know, of course.
Yeah, I think the contractor know a lot more about this than me, but there has been used a lot of different tools. Of course, so Solibri is one, and Navisworks is one. For the quality assessment lists, they need maybe Daleks is used, and InfraKit is also used, of course, for fleet management. But for every tool, the same basis, right? So it's the IFC files and the specific setting out data produced from us. So it's really I wouldn't say it's a game changer. Of course it is, but having the same IFC file and the same input for everybody has been a great value.
Yeah, of course. Let me ask you something, because we are talking about IFC now. Before you go further, didn't you have any challenges when you were exporting from Revit or different softwares to IFC?
Of course. So where the information is put in the IFC file is, of course, one, which kind of level, which properties should be general for all the different elements, should it be element specific, should model specific. Of course, models needs to be exported in local coordinations for.
Yeah. Oh, I think I lost you.
Some tools, for example, Trimble Connect. Of course, the IFC file is IFC format is. We haven't had the possibility to do what we did without it, but of course, the standardization has to move along.
Yeah, it's not very easy, and especially because software providers are just trying to delay as much as possible how much they implement the openBIM standards, actually. So that's unfortunately a challenge that, yeah, I hope I'll see more progress on in the future.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the lesson learned. So let's go some kind of summary, but we also going to look more about the LOD or model maturity. So as I said, the main progress plan or 4D plan with the different work packages made it really much more easier to coordinate between design and the site. So having that as a baseline was important.
Mm-hmm.
The use of pool planning or LPS to coordinate this kind of deliverables has worked well for us. So getting the actual dates that we needed to start, the dates that we needed to get the third-party evaluations or done, all those kind of dates and working back has worked well. And the different ICE session has made it easier to coordinate the big picture, because when you divide it into different packages, you need still to see how one package delay would affect another ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pardon me, but I don't know what pool planning is.
Uh,
Or LPS, it's in Norwegian.
LPS is last planner system. So it's as you going to LPS session or I session, you normally put stickers on the wall, right? So this is the way of putting on the different kind of milestones that you have and working backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So when they traveled to the moon in was 1969, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, then I think it was the current president. He said that what do we need to know tomorrow to go there by 1969, and then they worked their way back to find what they needed to do accordingly. So
okay.
that's like the same point of view. So what do we need to know tomorrow to do today? And at the end, you could see when you get to that date you are on, are you having then enough information or details to actually the plan that you set out to do.
Yeah.
And the point here with the use of model maturity with combination with BIM has been an excellent framework to coordinate different deliverables. So and I'm going to show you a little bit more about the model maturity. So
yeah,
for me,
if I can say something, if you can please go back.
Yeah.
LOD. I think standard, what is called British Standard Institute has removed this concept. I think they introduced level of information need, which is meant to replace LOD, the old LOD we had structured. So
and there's still a lot of confusion, I think, in at least also in Europe and the world as well about development detail. So level information need is a good term.
It makes peace with both worlds in a way. So you just define your information however you want, and you define it as a client, right? But going through it and see what actually you need and say that. Not just say I want the best BIM. Don't do that. If you're a client, most BIM I want 500. No, you don't want. Figure out what you need.
Yeah, and it needs to be project specific, right? So,
of course.
For us, it was a really important guidance tool. So setting up delivery plans and the plan the progress accordingly. It's uniting risks and having the possibility to do quality assessment and buildability. So let's just I'll show you this figure here, right? So for us, model maturity or level of information need is what kind of geometry do you need, what kind of information you need, but most importantly, it's the credibility to those two.
Like, what do you mean by credibility?
Yeah, how much can you trust the things that are designed, and how much can you trust the different kinds of information put there? How has the coordination been done to get here? So for us, it's to define the credibility. We needed to define what was not delivered geometry. So what was delivered and what was not delivered. We needed to say at which kind of level information need stage was it done quality assessment. So the contractor, they got models from us on a low LOD, and they could use it, but the risk was to wait and see if it has been changed or something happened during the coordination within Norconsult. So that says something about the risk, and we also defined what kind of coordination needs to be done between the different kind of levels within the level information need, and also what kind of surveying data needs to be delivered within the geometry or non-geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we made this. This is one example, and it's probably a little bit blurry for you, but for each level on different level information need stages, we defined the process that needs to be done, the geometry and non-geometry information, how it could be used, and different kind of risks.
So you had different milestones from this from a delivery's perspective.
Yeah. So each discipline had different milestones that they needed to deliver or that were planned.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it is really, I think it's to get a hold of level information need or model maturity, you need to dive into what is the credibility of those two. That's the my biggest yeah. I have found out during this project and the other ones that we have gone through. And in total, we can see that this reduced the conflicts that we have, get a united, the contents of or the constraints of the different MME levels.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, the credibility to the solutions were then increased.
Yeah, of course it will be much less friction when you discuss the issues together and you try to find solutions together.
Yeah, and you do also standardize the different deliverables. So you standardize what are the road going to deliver, what are electronics going to deliver on different time levels. Just visually within the EC project, it was a filter, right? So you could see different kinds of models filtering out on different levels.
Nice, neat, very neat.
But then you need to know what are included in different levels, right? So you need that kind of specification.
Yeah.
You can see that this was the last interchange that was modeled recently, and the construction is already being sent to third-party quality assessment, and the green ones are already being delivered to the site. And when things start to get blue, it's being built.
They are built.
And there is a study being done by the Norwegian Institute, BAE, about repetitive collaboration. So they also see that the use of model maturity or information need is a success criterion, actually.
But so the value of repetitive collaboration from what point of view? Like from different companies working together or a standard perspective?
It's in this case, they have looked into the collaboration of Norconsult and AF Group, the contractor, on 2 projects. So, so like some in plus and deltas, we have done some metrics, but we should improve those metrics that should be used in the ICE sessions, right? And we didn't measure on root causes. Why didn't somebody deliver something? What's the reason behind that? Why are we behind on due date for another discipline model? So that could be improved for us. And we didn't use what you call breakout sessions. So sitting together, finding a potential issue, going out, try to solve it. That wasn't really effective on our side.
Okay.
Yeah. So one part is that in the start of a project, we were sitting together on a project office, but as the project team is spread out in Norway, we need to coordinate on teams. So that makes it harder to like skip between meetings, jump out, be creative, and jump back in different environments.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so like try to sum up here. As you mentioned, also the project did win an AEC Excellent Award. The video that I showed you was submitted to the contest, and we luckily won the prize for infrastructure medium projects.
Luckily, I would not find that reasonable. It's not luck, yeah, no luck at all. It was well deserved. Like you dove into the future and you delivered after the expectations. So yeah, it was no other better project from this point of view. So it's no luck in that.
And I mean, have to thank the team because they did an excellent job from all the different designers making IFC files that were brand new to them, and also, of course, to the contractor and the client, and also, yeah, making a BIM viewer isn't something you do every day, and delivering a huge infrastructure project on open formats, documentation connected. Yeah, it's been a 2.5 year sprint. I don't know. Yeah. But looking forward to the finishing years and opening it in 22.
So, is there any delay in the project, if I may ask?
Not that I'm aware of. There are some, like there always are some other ongoing projects that you need to coordinate according to. So how you should design some elements of the project to accommodate future project is also always a discussion. But as I know, we are on plan to deliver this project as set out in 2018.
What about the budget? I did not look this into, so I don't want to. I'm just curious. Did this approach has any impact on the budget? Like, it blew up the price of the project, or it led to saving some money?
I didn't talk about the procurement of the project, but it is a best value procurement. So this means that there is a set a level of the price. So the top amount of price is set by the client, and then the contractor needs to say yes or no, I could accommodate or I could deliver on that price.
Okay.
So, but it did. What you could talk about is putting more effort into design. Right, you need to put more effort into the design process. You deliver high quality models, in most cases for the first time. So there has need to be development within the different disciplines, like the construction going from one construction to now 47 on all the other disciplines that hasn't delivered on IFC before. So that has an impact that we need to put more time into it. But again, that should be an expectation as well from the contractor that next project need to be more effective. Then you have the parametric scripts, you have the standardized deliverables.
You have the experience, but even like I expected from like you will definitely in this kind of approach you will definitely have an increased price for the design part because you need to put in more effort, more details, and especially when it's something completely new or mostly new, right? So that makes sense. But let's the design is a very small percentage of a project. So and we are talking about only the building time of the project. Now, it's difficult to look into the future, but my guess would be that having this documentation in such high level detail and such good quality of the information is going to lead to huge savings in the future, because it will lead to better understanding, to take decisions. You like everybody managing these projects will have a much easier life to get much better informed decisions and much more accurate. So they won't spend time guessing around. They will have everything they need to being able to take the best possible decisions. And that is priceless, because what are we talking, right? We focus so much, like building a project, it's like you get drawn into it because it's there for a few years. You drown in it, right? Every day you struggle, you forget about everything else. But after that, you use that project for 50 or 80 or 90 years, right? So if every time when you do something, you make a decision based on a much better quality information, you will save lots of money.
Yeah, and one element that we need to consider is what do we optimize for, right? Like the Twistware bridge in the project, it was optimized for reducing concrete, and reducing concrete can mean that cost could go up, but reduced concrete can also mean that the impact on the environment is lower, reduced. So there is an expectation, of course, of building cheaper, but you also need to consider the different variables here that we need probably to optimize on different elements, like you said, the life cycle analysis, sustainability, and that again could make it more expensive.
Yeah, no, but like I believe this is the future. It's difficult to come up with metrics right now, exact, because we will look back 10 years and think like how much did we save doing this, because like what is happening, just think about the magnitude of this project. Like just think about so much information, how it's possible to take a decision based on how many drawings do you need to look at to understand how this project is done, or some structures of this, right? And compared to where you just jump in the platform you just built and you just have a look at it, and that makes sense or not.
It's a universal language for the building time and also for the operation and maintenance as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's very difficult to measure right now, but I'm sure it has tremendous impact in the future. It's going to have tremendous impact. And let's not, we are not even talking about going even further, getting it to a digital twin and try to, and after that integrate with artificial intelligence that will take care, will try to prevent things happening and moving from reactive maintenance to proactive maintenance, or what is called anticipating maintenance, right? So we are not far away from that.
No, I think hopefully that we made an information structure in this project to make it possible to connect documentations. And as we move along, that we could either use a united structure of information to look between different projects, then the potential is huge. And I also think that the future that we could, you don't need an absolute structure. We could use different kind of structures and classification systems. Do cross classification, then you could have a different kind of deliverables, but you could still see the analyze between those. And I think that has a huge potential that, for example, the Nye Veier gets now 10 projects in their portfolio and could cross-examine those on even with different IFC formats or structures.
Yeah, and there is something else happening here. Like, if Nye Veier got this kind of delivery, it's going to be very difficult for them. They are pushed, like all the other projects are forced to just deliver better and better, right? It's difficult to go and look back now. You just need to look forward.
Yeah, and for us, we have raised the bar for us ourselves, and the other project that comes along from other contractor and consultants are raising the bar even higher. So
that sounds amazing. Amazing. I'll have one more question for you, but I'm just putting this out. If somebody is watching this or listening to this, feel free to ask any questions if you want. Any kind of questions is more than welcome. And now I will ask my last question. How did you manage? You said in the start that like the design started at the same time with construction. How do you deal with this problem? How do you ensure that the contractor doesn't wait too much on the building site and can start. How do you do it with the delivery of the design?
Yeah, and the key factor here is use of level of information need. So having the different kinds of work packages for one part of the project, and then dividing it to a different level of information need. So one example is, of course, for doing road construction. So they got information about where they needed to blast or to start their excavating very early on, long before any electronics or water sewer plans were made. And the system that we made with the use of model maturity accommodated that. So they took the potential risk that something could be changed within the design at us, or with external quality assessments.
Yeah.
So that is a complex answer. I understand that, but it's a keystone of the project. Is actually using the level of information need.
Yeah, because if you wait until you have the most advanced or the highest level of information required, it's going to be difficult, right? So you just start with first steps, right? With less detailed level of information, right? And you build on that.
Yeah, and the contractor could they provided us feedback along that path. So compared to a fully deliverable with high LOD that nobody has seen before, our consultant just looking into futures to try to know what the contractor needs. That's not the way forward. We need to collaborate along the way.
Yeah, so you would say that this kind of contracts are also okay.
It's a higher stress level, of course, doing design build, and but it's possible, and finding a good method of doing it would save the guy sitting behind the wheel in his car. So his tax money is reduced, and that's the optimum, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did not get any questions. So that's it. I hope I did not let you become bored, and I asked you enough questions through this. And I thank you very much for taking the time joining me. I really enjoyed and I learned a lot from this. And I will following you further to learn more things in the future.
Yeah. Thanks again for the opportunity to be here. It has been an absolute blast, and I learned a lot from your questions as well. So thank you.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day.